Welcome into the latest edition of the Stealing with the Boys podcast. I am your host, Junie Riddle, here, along with my boys.
Juwan Williams.
Coach Campbell.
And Coach Campbell, you look like you're sitting in the mud there, man. You look like you're down sunken in, even though you're the tallest one out of all of us.
I just want you guys to feel better about yourselves.
I know the confidence is through the roof right now. Now that I'm feeling a little bit taller than Trey for the first time in my life, but either way, Steelers game day today. Happy Sunday to everybody. I'm sure everybody's in front of your couch enjoying the first and second slate of games that are going on currently. But the Steelers got the Sunday night game against the Packers at home. Throwback uniforms are being thrown out with the gold domes, going against the Packers and their all-white uniforms. Aaron Rodgers' revenge against his old team. Even though he's not saying it, it's still a revenge game. Fellas, how are we feeling about the game today? And what are the vibes that are going on for your all's game day out at home? Juwan, I'll start with you.
All right, let me just start by saying that the more I look at these uniforms, at first I didn't like them, okay? But the more I look at these uniforms, the more I kind of like them. But I have to see them in person because I'm still looking at that video, the first video they made with Highsmith and Pat Firebooth. So that's where I'm thinking. Hopefully it all looks right on everybody. I know it's going to look old on Aaron Rodgers. But overall, I'm feeling pretty good about this game. It's the Aaron Rodgers game. This game means a lot to Aaron Rodgers. I know for a fact because there's a lot on the line. Some players start naming names. I need to see more from Jalen Ramsey. He owes us a lot. He owes us big time from last game. He gave up so many yards last game. So many Jamar Chase. When he came on the Pivot podcast talking about, I got Chase. I got Chase. Not JP Chase. Not Darius Slay. He got Chase, and he got cooked. He got cooked the whole game. But feeling pretty good about this game. This is a bounce back game for us after last week loss. So see what the boys got.
Okay. Trey, what are our vibes? What are we feeling like for the game today?
I'm a little worried about this game. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little worried. I think looking at it, if it was at any other time slot, I'd be a lot more worried. The Steelers happen to play pretty well in prime time, so that plays into our advantage. Aaron Rodgers is usually pretty great in primetime games as well. You look at Tomlin's record in primetime games, especially against the spread. Everything, like looking at the numbers, like Tomlin, I forget exactly what the number is, but it's like 60 something and 13 in prime time as a home underdog. Like when we're home underdogs, we happen to show up usually. So I'm hoping that still works in our favor. But this Packer team's been up and down just like us this year. So it's one of those things where it's like, which team's gonna be up for this game? What team's gonna play like the team that you expect them to be? Both got talent everywhere. My biggest thing is, this defense going into this game. Are we going to be able to stop Josh Jacobs, who has had an incredible year so far? Their rushing attack. Christian Watson's back, but I don't know how much he's going to play. From what I've seen, like especially like his odds and his numbers, his over-under is only set at like 18.5. So I'm not sure if that they know something we don't know, that he might not play as much as we'd expect. But yeah, I mean, it's gonna come down to which defense wants to show up to this game. I think both offenses will get things going, but it's gonna come down to timely stops and whoever has the least amount of turnovers. And I think we can take care of the ball. Packers tend to have some issues with that sometimes, But if they don't, it's gonna be a nail biter. I mean, every Steelers game is usually a nail biter, but man, I'm excited. I'm excited because it's prime time. There's one game on to watch. Everybody will be watching it, and hopefully the Steelers show out and show the NFL what we're about.
I'm really glad that you brought up the point about the Steelers on prime time, and especially as home underdogs. Those are all things that play into historically what Mike Tomlin led teams thrive under. And so I wouldn't be surprised if the boys didn't come out to play tonight. I would be shocked if they did not come out and play their best football. But another thing to note is, we didn't do an episode kind of covering the Cincinnati game or anything, and I mean, I think we all kind of cut and dry just know that Joe Flacco, coming in has just completely changed their situation. Even though they fell to the Jets today, that defense still is not looking good at all up there in Cincinnati. But regardless of the fact, I mean, the fact that they lost a division game on the road on Thursday Night Football is nothing new. I think now that we can sit and digest that, it's not as much of a shocker as I think it was, the night that it happened. But the Steelers are coming off extra rest and they're coming off a massive disappointing loss. Let's be frank. And the Packers, on the other hand, are just traveled to Arizona and were playing Jacoby Brissett and the Cardinals and barely eked that win out. And so, although they got the win and they're feeling good about themselves, they did not look good in doing that against a very, very banged up Cardinals team, which isn't that talented to begin with. And so now they got to go on the road again with a team that's got some extra rest, a little extra motivation, and some moxie about them with Aaron Rodgers playing, the team that he spent 18 years with. And so with all that being said, I would be really shocked if the Steelers didn't come to play. Now, the Packers are no slouches. If the Packers come and play their best game, this could definitely be a loss. But the fact of the matter is that the Steelers are underdogs in this matchup. I think Vegas needs to pump the brakes a little bit on that. This is as 50-50 of a game as you're going to get in the season. And so I'm really, really interested in that. So, Trey, I want to go back to you on this. Let's start with our matchups that we want to look for in today's game. What's something that catches your eye, and what's something that the Steelers can either exploit or get exploited by the Packers tonight?
Like I was saying, kind of in my preview, I think it comes down to who stops the run, both sides of the ball. I mean, our D line is not banged up. Their D line is, but we haven't been able to stop the run. I mean, Cincinnati ran all over us, and they haven't ran the ball on anybody this year. No matter who they played, they haven't ran the ball. So I think it comes down to who stops the run, controls the game. I think time of possession is going to be another huge thing in this game. So that's something to look out for. Who possesses the ball on offense the most, the longest this game. But I would say both D lines. Like if our O line, I hope Zach Frazier plays. I know he's questionable, and I don't see him not playing. He played with a broken leg when he played at West Virginia. So I mean, I don't see him being held out for a calf injury. He's a tough dude. But like I said, I think it comes down to D line. Who stops the run? Who can? Because Jordan Love's pretty good at play action as well, especially when they get the run going. So if we can control the defensive line, hold them, and make Jordan Love pass, I think that causes concerns for the Packers offense. I think if he has to drop back and pass 50 times a game, it's not good for them. They pride themselves on their run just like we do. But if they can't get it going, I think that plays into our hand. And the same thing on our side of the ball. We got to get the run game going. Jaylen Warren has to start off strong, and then we can get the tight ends involved. I mean, we have DK. Calvin's back this game, so look for Calvin to have a decent game. Coming back from injury, hasn't played in a couple weeks. But yeah, I think it comes down to the D line matchup, and that's my matchup for the game.
Okay, Juwan.
So the matchup I'm looking for is their wide receiver core versus our DBs. Our DBs have been exposed, to say the least. And I agree with something that we talked in the group chat about. I think Trey said it, where not only do we need to look at wide receiver for the trade deadline, we also need to look for a cornerback. It seems like each game Darius Slay gets hurt or hobbles to the sideline. And Ramsey right now, I don't really have that much faith in him to cover a 1 or 2 when it comes to speed. This is where his age comes into play. So that's very interesting with Matthew Golden coming back and Watson when you already got Reed and is it Wicks?
Well, Reed's not going to be playing in this game. He got injured earlier in the year, and so he won't.
They got
He's on
Watson.
he's on IR.
Is it
Now,
Wicks?
No, it's right now. They got Watson coming back. They got Dobbs and Wicks, so that's probably who you're thinking of as
Oh
running
no,
backs.
Dobbs. Yeah, that's what
they're all kind of number 2s though. That's why I'm not too worried.
that was the
about
one we
that.
thought we wanted to come to Steelers.
I'm gonna say this, boys. I am somebody that kind of watches the Packers just because of fantasy reasons. And a guy that I've been following, since, his draft profile is Matthew Golden. And let me tell you this, man. Matthew Golden is a sleeping giant. You watch the Green Bay Packers, there's almost 1 or 2 plays. Sometimes there's been 3 or 4 plays in some of their games where it's just been a miscommunication between him and Love, and the throw is off or the route is off. And when I watch the Packers, this guy, Matthew Golden, is open and he's got 4.2 speed and he knows how to separate and he's got good hands. And so that I just don't want to be the team that lets Matthew Golden get going because there have been a couple games this year that he could have really had a breakout performance and hasn't just because of him and Love not being on the same page. It would be a tough day for us if Matthew Golden gets going. But if I'm going to go into a particular matchup here for us, I'm going to go with essentially how our inside linebackers play against not only the run, but the passing game. I feel like oftentimes our linebackers aren't making good reads and taking good read steps, which is something that linebackers have to analyze on whether they're going to rush in and fill gaps to defend the run, or if they're going to drop back into coverage and play the pass. I feel like, crossers and those slants and stuff are something that is killing our team because we're overcompensating trying to defend the run game, and that leaves us susceptible in those areas. Our linebackers have got to be playing well. I'm talking Patrick Queen. I'm talking Cole Holcomb. I'm talking Peyton Wilson. I'm talking all of them. They got to come in and have a really, really good game because Matt LaFleur is going to, one, establish the run with Josh Jacobs, who is a perennial. I think he's a top 10 back in the league. And I think he's probably the best pure power back that's still left in the NFL as well. And so with his talent and the amount that he's going to get the ball, not only are we going to have to focus on the run, but what comes with that, the play action, the crossers. LaFleur is great at scheming these receivers open, hence why they do so well with guys that aren't necessarily super talented. And so I think it's really going to be up to, not only like your point, Juwan, about talking about the secondary, but also the linebackers and covering the middle and being able to make good reads on whether or not it's a pass or a run play. Because I feel like that's also been something that's been killing this team is not knowing necessarily what the offense is trying to do.
Off of your point, Junie, that was another matchup or another player I wanted to point out was Tucker Kraft. I mean, he's become a lethal tight end for them this year, and and if we can't contain him, man, it'll be a long game. I mean, I feel like we've been done better about containing the tight ends. It's been the receivers crossing more or less against us recently. But if Tucker Kraft has a big game, especially on National Tight End Day, happy National Tight End Day, boys. But yeah, Tucker Kraft's going to be another key matchup between the linebackers, the safeties, and all that good stuff. I feel like we're going to have Elliott on him a good amount this game, or at least shadowing him. So that might be a matchup to look for. And who knows? Maybe we'll finally play Jabril Peppers a little bit and have him out there in some coverage on tight ends.
We're gonna need it badly.
I want to see more of him. That's one person I'm just like, I just don't understand. It's kind of like, who did we get a few years back who was really good? He was from the Texans, like a slot corner. that played real
Oh,
well.
was it
Was it King or
King?
yeah?
Was it Des? Was it no?
What was it King? It was
Was it Nelson?
No,
no.
because Nelson left us and then went to the Texans.
What was his name?
I know, I know.
King the second, or something like that.
I can't remember his
But
name
him, like
because he never
we
played,
didn't,
and then they released
yeah.
him a few weeks later, and then he
And
went
then he
on
went
and
and played well for whoever he went to. And I'm
yeah,
like, it's just like why we're getting these players. I mean, yes, it might be like a name thing, but these players are vets that they can plug into a defense. And I know we've been having communication problems. Like we got to use it. Like he played well for the Patriots last year. Played well in all his roles for the Patriots the past few years. He was injured, banged up last year a little bit, had his play down. But the year before that, he was playing at an Pro Bowl level. Like I feel like he needs to be more. And maybe with this little break we had, he got the bye. We got a little mini bye with the Thursday night game to this week. Maybe they got him incorporated a little bit more. And another guy, I know it's been a big talk all week, was Nick Herbig not getting enough snaps. We need to see Nick Herbig on the field as much as possible, especially third down reps. Get all three of them out there. Move Alex Highsmith inside a little bit. Move him around. Like we talk about this every week. I swear, boys, we talk about this every week. But these are things that other people are seeing, and it was successful one game, and then we don't use it the next game. So I'm not understanding what changes week to week in the sense of like why some of these guys aren't getting reps, but they need reps. They're good players, and Nick Herbig is literally has 4.5 sacks on limited snaps. I think he still leading our team in sacks? I'm pretty sure.
yeah.
I'm pretty
No,
sure he is.
I'm almost certain he is without looking at the official numbers, but yeah, no, I mean, flat out he is. I think he did struggle against the run when we looked at some of that film
Mhm.
against Cincinnati. But that was a point that I had brought up to you all before that game was we couldn't let their sleeping run game get going, and we did. It was something that we neglected in that game, and Chase Brown went berserk and had over 100 yards and had like what 9 yards to carry. But I also think that was short week, and you're gonna obviously focus more on T. Higgins and Jamar Chase in that matchup. But all in all, they're not going to be sleeping on the run today, and that has got to be for certain. Because if there's one weapon that you can't let get going for the Packers, it's Josh Jacobs. Because if he gets going, the entire engine gets going with their ability to scheme guys open and use play action. So, fellas, let's go ahead and get our predictions on how the game is going to go down, and also our score predictions. So, Juwan, I'd like to start with you on this one. Packers Steelers tonight. How does the game play out? What's the game going to look like? And what is your score prediction?
Well, over under right now is 45.5. I do see it being it can be a low scoring game or a shootout. That's where I'm at with it. Yeah, I just think tonight it's just so much involved and so much in stake for Rodgers for him not to win. So I got us winning this game 23-17.
Okay.
So we covered the spread. I mean, we covered the spread. We covered the spread, and we is over on the total.
You said
Okay.
what was the over under?
44.5, 45.
45.5.
Oh, so you have the under.
It's the under?
Yeah, you have 40 points. You said what, 23-17? Is it, what did you say?
Yeah, 23-17.
Yeah, so you have the under.
Yeah, you got 40 total.
I think I'm right there with you on the under, honestly. I want to say this is a game of Chris Boswell winning it for us. I think it comes down to the wire. One thing I did see though, this is another thing to remember, the Acrissure's field is not looking great from what I heard. They said that or from what I seen on Twitter, they said that do they have a game there again Saturday? Yesterday, I'm pretty sure they had a game there. and they said that the pit players and whoever played in that game were slipping all over. So that is not a great look for us. So I think this game hits the under as well. I'm gonna take this game to be, oh man, you said 23-17. I have them scoring 17. I'm gonna say 20. I wanted to say 2017. I think 2017. I think this is a Boswell game. I'd like it. I like it to be, higher scoring because I think Aaron Rodgers is going to try to, be like, hey, I need this win. I think we're going to throw the ball around a little bit more than we have recently. But yeah, I still think this stays a low scoring game. 20-17 is my prediction. The Steelers win. Pull it out
Before you
last
go,
minute.
Junie, I will say I know that we have we're saying a low scoring game,
Mm-hmm.
but Aaron Rodgers, when he faces his old team, last time he threw four touchdowns.
Yeah, and that's something I noticed too is that Aaron Rodgers has put some of his best work against teams that he has vendettas against.
Yeah.
The Vikings didn't want him in the offseason. They wanted to roll with JJ McCarthy, and I feel like Rodgers had a excellent game, and again, Gainwell had a good game too, so they kind of it was balanced, but Rodgers still played uberly well in that game. And then the Jets game, like Juwan said, 4 touchdowns and just absolutely lit them up. Especially with a week and a half. I don't see this being a low scoring game, guys. Like this defense isn't consistent. The Packers offense, it doesn't matter who they're playing against. I always, feel like with LaFleur and his scheme and the way that they do things offensively, I think that they're going to take advantage of some of the things that we're lacking in, just schematically. And so I think the Packers are going to put up points, and I think we're going to put up points. I think this is going to be an over game. Just the way I'm seeing us play this year, offense has been really the bright spot, and defense has been the roller coaster that it is. And so I think it's going to be not necessarily maybe a shootout like it was in Cincinnati, but I think more like both teams getting in the mid-20s here. I'm gonna go Steelers win 26-23. Steelers win 26-23. I'm confident. I'm confident in the team bouncing back. Extra time, at home, underdog, prime time, throwback jerseys. Name whatever you want. Whatever you want to throw in the mix. The stats say the Steelers should show up and play well tonight. And I think that they will. I think they should have won in Cincinnati. We all thought that y'all thought that it was going to be easy and it was going to be a blowout. I was telling y'all I don't know about that.
That was
I think that it's going to.
That was the liquor.
Huh?
That was the liquor.
Yeah. No, we know. We know. We were fortunate there was a train in there for some of that, but either way, I do think that defensively it's going to look a little bit better. The Packers have a ton of talent, and so they're going to score up points. So I'm going to go 26-23. Steelers get a narrow victory, much needed at home on primetime. So we're all on the Steelers. We haven't done much winning when it comes to betting this year. And so we got to get on track with our steals of the week. We got to get some winners tonight in the mix. So Trey, you're my man with the odds. Give us the spread. We already talked about the over-under on today's matchup. So what's the spread for today's game? And let's go ahead and start with you on your touchdown score and player prop.
So it actually just shifted. It must have heard us talking. It is now we are 2.5 point underdogs. It was just at 3 about 20 minutes ago when I looked.
Okay.
And the over-under's at 45.5. We're still the underdogs. But for my picks, I think this is it's National Tight End Day. I want to take a tight end as a touchdown score, but I don't know which tight end. So I'm not going to take a tight end for a touchdown score. I think this is a big Jalen Warren game. And the reason I say that is because he's been, I feel like it's been every other game where he goes off. And our success or our win rate when he is having 100+ yards, whether that be rushing or receiving, is when he gets the ball a lot, we tend to have success. We tend to win games. So I'm going to take Jalen Warren rushing and receiving yards, 80 plus, and I'm going with a Jalen Warren touchdown. I'm going to double up on Jalen Warren tonight.
Okay. All right, Juwan.
All right, so what I'm gonna do? So I've been looking at the tight end spot. I've been looking at tight ends, and out of all three tight ends, Pat Firemouth is the lowest at plus 340. I'm going Pat Firemouth. Also, I'm going Tucker Craft. I got both tight ends scoring.
Okay. I think.
So
Listen,
tight
I
end.
think Tucker Craft scoring tonight is an excellent pick.
It was
I think
I
it's a
have,
great
I have
pick.
him in some of my parlays.
It was Firemouth's birthday yesterday, so I think that. And I want to say something. I got Rodgers 3 touchdowns.
I like it.
Wow. Okay.
Rodgers throwing 3 touchdowns. Yeah.
And so your score of 23-17 is going to be.
I think
With Mr. PAT.
Oh no, I'm saying safety. Safety and 3 touchdowns. Who is Chris Boswell? Never heard of him.
the GOAT. But yeah, I got I have 3 touchdowns by Rodgers.
Okay.
And
I could see it tonight. I could see that tonight. 3
Yeah, I saw
touchdowns.
his odds.
Bold.
I
That's
saw
bold.
his odds for passing touchdowns for 3+ or 4+ were way up there, and he's the only quarterback in the NFL to have 2 games with 4+ touchdowns. I forget what the odds were. I'm trying to find it, but
it's 920 for 4.
920 for 4.
It's 320 for 3.
Okay.
320. Hey, that's not.
That's good odds.
I like that. Not too high, not too low. Right there in
Yeah.
the middle. I like that. All right. Trey, if you wouldn't mind pulling it up for me. What is the over under receiving yards for Darnell Washington this week?
Darnell Washington over
The great Darn. Oh,
19.5.
19.5. Give me the over on Darnell Washington receiving yards tonight. And I'm gonna go maybe not too outside of the box on this one, but a little bit. I'm gonna go Kenneth Gainwell anytime touchdown tonight. Hasn't had one since the Minnesota game. Has been a little bit quiet. I'm with you, Trey. I think Jalen Warren has a big game stats wise, but I don't know. I feel like Gainwell needs to get in and get one. I'm gonna go Kenneth Gainwell. Over on yards for Darnell. Kenneth Gainwell anytime touchdown. That's gonna be my pick.
Gainwell earlier. His anytime touchdown was at 990.
Wow.
It went down to 450.
Are you sure that was his anytime? I was looking at it earlier. I don't think.
Yeah, because he was the lowest.
Or was it first touchdown? Are you sure?
Nah, it was anytime.
Oh yeah, because DK's first touchdown is plus 900.
Yeah. So
I might sprinkle some on that. DK first touchdown 900 plus 900.
Yeah, you know he's going to be upset about his touchdown streak ending in Cincinnati. That is for certain. That is for certain.
Are you sure
But
DK? DK's on the streak. I thought
he was. DK Metcalf had scored a touchdown in every single game this year outside of the Jets. So he was on a 4-game touchdown streak, and it ended in Cincinnati because he did not score in Cincinnati. So it was National Tight End Day a little bit early for the Pittsburgh Steelers. So because 4 touchdowns to them, but either way, boys, I think tonight's game is going to be a great one. The storyline is fantastic with Rodgers facing the Packers for the first time since leaving the team 3 years ago, and so with that storyline, the new uniforms, the historic matchup. It's a Super Bowl rematch from Super Bowl 45, which I know we all still have a bad taste in our mouth about. And so when these two teams get together, man, it's always a good game. It's always a good game, Steelers and Packers, that is. So do we have any last remarks before we sign off and get to our game day locations?
Jalen Ramsey, you got to show me something. I'm sorry. He played so bad. And I was there in person. That's what I meant to say. When I was there in person, I seen Darnell touchdown. Oh my God. I was 7 yards away. All Darnell needed was 15 yards. Just 15 yards.
That was a big one. I remember I tailed it.
And I was gonna win $1,700.
Wasn't meant to be. It was Pat Freiermuth's night. Pat Freiermuth's night. That's for certain. Trey, any last words before we get out of here?
Hey man, I'm just excited for this game. It's our first prime time that's not on a Thursday, for the year, and I'm just excited to watch it. I'm excited for everybody else to see, because I feel like the Steelers have kind of not even been getting overlooked, but like kind of just like in the shadows right now. And I know we like it that way, but I want us to come out and show the NFL like, hey, you got to watch out for these guys. They might be sleepers, but I'm expecting a big game. I'm expecting a really good game. I'll be really upset if we just lay an egg like we did on Thursday night, but I don't see it happening.
Yeah.
All right. We're all in agreement. It's going to be a good game. Great matchup. Two great teams in tonight's matchup, and we are the Sunday night primetime game, national television. Doesn't get better than that. For the Stealing with the Boys podcast, we are out.
Here we go, Rodgers. Let's go.
Go Rodgers. Be the fifth quarterback, baby.